So DJI has released a new firmware update for the DJI Osmo Mobile 6 and Osmo Mobile SE, introducing several exciting features. One of the coolest features is that you can remotely control the DJI Osmo Mobile 6 through your Apple Watch. The other features are improved enhanced active tracking for human subjects and a one-tap edit feature within the DJI Mimo app. So in this video, guys, I will guide you through all the new features so you can fully leverage your Osmo Mobile 6 and elevate your mobile filmmaking experience. So let's get into the new features with the latest firmware update for the DJI Osmo Mobile 6. Now, like I mentioned, one of the most exciting features is the ability to control the DJI Osmo Mobile 6 using the Apple Watch. Now, this functionality lets you get a real-time preview of what your iPhone is capturing and control the gimbal in various ways. You can switch between photo and video modes, adjust the gimbal's direction for better composition, switch between portrait and landscape mode, and even enable active track remotely for effortless self-filming. Now, this was a huge request by many gimbal users, and I love that they now included this feature because it breaks free from the limits of close-ranged handheld shooting, giving you more freedom with composition. Now, I also find it great for getting those creative third-person shots. As a solo mobile content creator myself, I film most of the content on my own. I need to be able to see what I'm shooting, and that's where the Apple Watch really comes in handy. Previously, I used the remote app on my Apple Watch to get a live preview while using the default camera app on my iPhone. However, this setup was limited as I couldn't control the gimbal at all. And now with this new firmware update, gimbal control is possible by pairing my Apple Watch with the DJI Osmo Mobile 6 through the DJI Mimo app, offering greater flexibility and convenience when filming. So let me now show you how to use the DJI Osmo Mobile 6 and Osmo Mobile SE with the Apple Watch for remote control. So to enable this feature, you will need an Apple Watch Series 7, 8, or 9, Apple Watch SE 2, or Apple Watch Ultra 1 or 2 running the Watch OS 9 or later. Now, to start using this feature, be sure to pair your Apple Watch with your iPhone and have the DJI Mimo app installed on both and update to version 2.04 or later on your iPhone. Now, iPhone models have no restrictions, but the operating system must be iOS 16 or later. Now, also don't forget to update your DJI Osmo Mobile 6 or Osmo Mobile SE to the latest version. Now, once that's all set, open the DJI Mimo app on your iPhone and Apple Watch, and you're ready to go. If you want to keep the display on for longer on the Apple Watch, just head to the settings in the Watch app, select display and brightness, and at the bottom, tap on wake duration and choose wake for 70 seconds. Now, if you're wondering whether using the DJI Mimo app on an Apple Watch will interface with using the DJI Mic 2 or other Bluetooth devices at the same time, here's my recommendation. Because of how Apple handles Bluetooth connection, it's not ideal to use them simultaneously. Instead, when you're using the DJI Mic 2, connect your smartphone to the DJI Mic 2 receiver with the included mobile phone adapter. Now, when using the remote feature, ensure you're in an open, clear area and keep the device within 8 meters of each other. Now, just a heads up, the Apple Watch has some limitation with video transmission, so the live feed might not be as sharp as your iPhone's camera, and you might notice a little delay. Now, this can vary depending on your Apple Watch model, but no worries, this won't mess with how you frame your shots or the quality of your final videos and photos. So let's now check out various controls inside the DJI Mimo app on the Apple Watch for operating the gimbal. So I have the DJI Mimo app opened on my iPhone, and on the Apple Watch, I'm also going to open up the DJI Mimo app. And because the DJI Mimo app on the iPhone is currently asleep, I can wake it up by pressing over here. And you can now see I have a live preview of what the camera is seeing. And the delay is around 1 second, but there's no choppiness, and you can see we have different controls. So this button over here allows me to start and stop the recording. And once the recording has stopped, I can remotely view the captured photo or the first video frame on the watch. So let's try that out. I'm gonna start the recording and then stop the recording. And you can see the frame over here. So by tapping on it, I'll know that the recording has been completed. So to head back, I'm going to select the X icon. Then up here, we have the active tracking. So when I look at the camera and press the active tracking, you'll see that it will now start tracking my face. And we also get a green box, which is pretty nice. And if I want to stop the tracking, I can just press it again and it will do so. And by the way, you can also see the recording time up here. So when I tap it, you'll see how many seconds of the video has been recorded. Then tapping on this icon over here will reveal more controls. So to the bottom left, we can change between horizontal and vertical mode, and it will update it in real time, which is great. And then in the center, we have our virtual joystick control. And I can adjust the camera direction, fast or slow. And this is really great to be able to set my composition properly. And if I want to recenter the camera, I have this button over here to the bottom right. By pressing it, you'll see it will recenter the camera. To head back, select the X icon. Now, if I want to switch between a video and a photo mode, I can just swipe to the left and photo mode is now selected. If I want to switch back to video mode, I can swipe to the right and now video mode is selected. So yeah, that is basically how you use these buttons to operate the gimbal. Let's now go out and give you a real world example of how I would use this feature. So for this shoot, I'm going to use the DJI Mimo app, obviously, so that I can use the Apple Watch to control the gimbal. Now let's first talk about the camera settings that I will be using to shoot this video. So I've set the shooting mode to manual, and this allows me to lock my white balance. So when I head to the three dots at the bottom left, I can then head over to white balance, and I can either choose one of these presets, or what I like to do is use the custom to dial in the temperature. Then heading back, I also enable grid lines. This brings up the rule of thirds, which helps set my composition. I've also turned off Dolby Vision because I prefer the SDR look instead of the HDR look. And when I head over to the gimbal mode, most of the time I'll be shooting in follow mode, as this will keep the horizon lock while being able to tilt and pan the gimbal. Now, if the gimbal is slightly off, you can also head over here, make sure the clamp is properly mounted, select OK, and it is a bit off, so I'm gonna just adjust the horizon a bit around here. This looks good. Select done. And as for the resolution and frame rate, I'll be shooting in 4K. This allows me to reframe the shot in post without losing much quality. And I'm going to shoot in 25 frames per second because I don't plan on slowing the footage down. And this way you can also see how smooth the gimbal operates. So with that out of the way, let's get into the shooting process. So for the opening shot, I'm going to film myself walking up this path, and I'm going to use the active track so that the camera follows me. I have the DJI Osmo Mobile 6 placed on the ground, and I'm also using the extension pole just to get the camera up higher, and I think this looks great. So let's try that out. And what's really cool is that I can now preview myself, and if I like the framing, I can start recording from the Apple Watch. And yeah, this looks great. So I'm gonna start the active track, and you can see it follows me, and I'm also gonna start recording, and I'm gonna start around here. Okay. So I'm also gonna get a close-up shot of these plants. For that, I'm gonna use the fence as foreground. I think this framing looks nice. And then I'm gonna slowly slide from left to right, hit the record button while keeping this plant in the center, and go. So we have sun shining through the leaves, and I want to capture that with my iPhone, and I'm going to use the ultra wide angle lens for that, and I'm going to switch over to the FPV mode. This way I can rotate the camera, and this looks nice. So I'm going to start recording and go. So this time I have the DJI Osmo Mobile 6 on a dead branch with the pole extended, and I'm simply going to capture a shot of myself walking down. I'm going to use the active tracking on the DJI Mimo app, and you can see I can check the framing on my Apple Watch. So I think this is going to look great. I'm going to activate active tracking. My face is locked, so let's start recording. Gonna start from up here. See if it's still tracking me. It is, and I can still see the preview from here, which is cool. So the next shot will be a shot of me walking. I think that would fit great with the previous shot, and you can see how easy it is to mount my phone using the magnetic clamp. And I'm going to use the extension pole and then simply flip the camera upside down like that. And then as I walk, I sort of orbit around myself. And I'm actually going to use the ultra wide angle lens. Yep. Just to fit more in the frame. Action. So this time I want to create a push-in and then slowly tilt up the camera. I'm going to use the pan tilt follow mode, and I'm going to use the ultra wide angle lens. This way I can fit more in the frame. So let's do that. So for this shot, I have the DJI Osmo Mobile 6 mounted on a monopod. This way I can lift the camera up higher. Now I'll be using the virtual joystick on my Apple Watch to tilt down the camera as I come into the frame. And because I'm filming myself from behind, you won't be able to see me controlling the Apple Watch. So this is going to be a bit more challenging, but I think it's going to look great. Okay, let's wake it up. Good morning. Let's recenter. See how it looks. We're going to use the ultra wide angle lens. So I'm going to start with the camera pointing up. I'm actually going to use my finger to control the joystick. I think this will be easier. So there's a stork right over there. I'm going to try to capture it with the 2x. So I'm going to digitally zoom in a bit using the zoom wheel on the DJI Osmo 6. So I'm just going to zoom slightly in to around, let's go for 2.5. Yeah, that looks good. And go. Wow, that was nice. Let's now put together the edit so that you can see the final results. So it was a lot of fun shooting with the DJI Osmo Mobile 6 using the Apple Watch. Now I did find it hard to use the virtual joystick to film myself and add some camera movement. It did take a couple of tries, but eventually I got it and I think it looked really great. Now also the active tracking did a really good job, which smoothly followed me, and that is also one of their improved updates. You'll notice that the tracking is much smoother and accurate, making it easier to keep the subject stable and centered in the frame. They also improved tracking for fast-moving subjects, so active track is also great for filming running scenes or action-type sports. So yeah, being able to live preview and control the gimbal from your Apple Watch is pretty awesome. I'm really glad they added this feature. It's really perfect for anyone who wants to snap photos of themselves or group shots, and it's great for solo creators like me who need to film themselves. And this way you don't have to run back and forth to adjust the gimbals constantly to get the framing right. Now the last feature they've upgraded is the one-tap edit inside the AI editor for parents and kids modes. Now recordings can be edited within the one-tap edit feature inside the DJI Mimo app. So these are the new features of the DJI Osmo Mobile 6 with the updated firmware. I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know what you think about controlling the gimbal with the Apple Watch. And if you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment. Now, for those new to the DJI Osmo Mobile 6, I have a great tutorial that will walk you through the entire setup and shooting process. Be sure to check it out somewhere here. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you soon.